A whistleblower steps forward to describe the disappearance of 200,000 ballots in Pennsylvania. Joe Biden's pick for Office of Management and Budget goes on an epic Twitter purge. Plus, left-wing columnist Paul Krugman fears that Joe Biden might be considered illegitimate. All that and more. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-minute news hour.
And God bless the United States of America.
All right, friends, welcome to the show. Happy Wednesday. I hope you're having a great week. If you're new to the show, thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to start with the witnesses that are coming forward one after another with their stories, their explanations, their proof of voter fraud. We saw these public hearings in state legislatures. We saw it in Pennsylvania. We saw it in Arizona. Yesterday, it was Michigan. Witness after witness talking about the intimidation, the exclusion, the restrictions they were put under that the Democrats weren't. It was so one-sided, and you have to wonder, why aren't more Republicans stepping forward and supporting this process, stepping forward and supporting President Trump in this effort, in this time window when we're supposed to contest close elections? We're supposed to contest evidence of voter fraud. This is what we're seeing. We need more Republicans stepping up. But we have these hearings. We had the one in Michigan. We also had this awesome press conference yesterday where whistleblowers came forward with claims that are just outrageous and they deserve to be investigated. One talked about hearing stories of backdating 100,000 ballots in Wisconsin. In another one, his own shipment of 200,000 ballots to Pennsylvania just disappeared. And here's the story. Several whistleblowers on Tuesday cast new uncertainty on the 2020 election process, claiming up to 288,000 ballots disappeared, another 100,000 were improperly backdated, and mail promoting President Trump was junk, while mail for Joe Biden was delivered. In the most extraordinary report, a U.S. Postal Service contractor said his trailer full of 144 to 288,000 completed mail-in ballots, which he drove between New York and Pennsylvania, disappeared after he delivered it to a Lancaster, Pennsylvania depot. The claims were unveiled by the Amistad Project of the Thomas More Society, which has mounted an independent investigation of voting and voter registration in several key battleground states. It recently made headlines by revealing that the FBI has requested the findings of its voter integrity project. So I'll get to some video of the press conference in just a minute, but I first wanted to go through and show you these folks, their names. They step forward and what their claims are. It's just unbelievable. And here's more. Postal subcontractor Jesse Morgan on October 21st moved 144 to 288,000 completed mail-in ballots from Bethpage, New York to Lancaster, Pennsylvania, where his trailer holding the ballots disappears. Postal subcontractor Nathan Pease is told by two separate postal workers on two separate occasions that the USPS in Wisconsin was gathering over 100,000 ballots on the morning of November 4th to backdate the ballots so that the ballots would be counted even if they arrived after the statutory deadline. Computer expert Gregory Stenstrom of Pennsylvania witnessed a vendor of Dominion machines and local election officials download and update counting machines in violation of election system protocol and the commingling of the machine jump drives in violation of election protocols and rendering audits impossible without direct forensic access to the machines. So I want to focus in on Jesse Morgan for this show. He's the truck driver. He had shipments, started out in New York, a shipment for Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, and then another shipment onto Lancaster. So he drives to Harrisburg, gets there around 9 a.m., doesn't unload. He waits and waits and waits. He waits 6 hours. Finally, he's met by the Postal Service transportation supervisor, and here's how it goes.
The supervisor told me to drive to Lancaster without being unloaded in Harrisburg. This made no sense to me. I knew the ballots were loaded for Harrisburg, and that if I was to go to Lancaster, they would have to off-unload my ballot or those pallets in Lancaster to take off Lancaster stuff, to put the ballots back on the trailer, to send it back to Harrisburg.
So what he's saying is he has a shipment for Lancaster. He has a shipment for Harrisburg. He's in Harrisburg. Yet this supervisor says, nope, don't unload. Just go to Lancaster. So then Morgan asks for his slip, his log, his record that he gets after every delivery. Kind of the basic, shows his name, trailer number, date, shipment, that kind of stuff. Supervisor wouldn't give it to him. Wouldn't give him the slip. Wouldn't let him unload. He says, just go on to Lancaster. So he does. Here's what happens next.
I then drove to Lancaster, unhooked my trailer in its normal place, and then drove my truck to where I always park it in a nearby lot. And then I went home. The next day, it just got weirder. As I arrived at Lancaster's United States Postal Service facility with my tractor, I went to hook up to my trailer. And my trailer was gone. Not there no more.
So somewhere around 200,000 ballots just disappear. Not out of his trailer, the whole trailer. The whole trailer just disappears. And this is one account. He was on Hannity last night, along with Pease, who talked about Wisconsin and the 100,000 ballot backdating scheme. This is what's going on, folks. We need network coverage of all this. All these people are available for interviews, yet the networks don't dig into it. These are real stories, real evidence. They need to be vetted. They need stories out there so people will know what's going on. So next, let's talk about Joe Biden and some of his crazy picks that he thinks are going to serve. He probably won't even be in the White House. But first, if you're new to the show or haven't subscribed yet, please subscribe. And when you do, please hit that bell so you'll be notified. We're making our push for 150,000 subscribers, and we can do it with your help. All right. So as all of this is going on, all this investigation, Joe Biden, President-elect Joe Biden, he's making picks, and his picks are terrible. You want someone that is for open borders? Biden's got that covered. You want someone for higher taxes? He's got that covered too. You want people who will put America last? He has a ton of those. One of his picks that's really standing out now is for Office of Management and Budget. She's been on the attack so much that now she's going through an epic Twitter purge to get rid of this information. And here's the story. Neera Tanden, the Office of Management and Budget nominee and president of the progressive think tank Center for American Progress, will need the votes of Republican senators she's publicly disparaged in the past to assume her post if Republicans have a Senate majority. After former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton lost to President Donald Trump, Tanden circulated conspiracy theories that Russians had actually switched votes from Clinton to Trump, according to the New York Post. She has also launched personal attacks on and criticisms of Senate Republicans on social media, especially during the Trump presidency. Wow, what a gem. This is all part of, Joe Biden's unity team. This person has been on the attack, and now she's in major damage control. And here's more. She's been diligently scrubbing her social media accounts of some of these attacks, according to the Washington Examiner. Archives of Tanden's Twitter account, kept by Wayback Machine, shows Tanden has deleted around 1,000 tweets in the past 14 days. Wow, what a gem. You go back to 2008, she's helping Hillary Clinton on Clinton's presidential run. She punched a reporter. Because she didn't like the question. It wasn't favorable enough to Hillary Clinton. These are the kind of people that Joe Biden has on his inclusion and unity team. Give me a break. So next, let's talk about left-wing columnist Paul Krugman. But first, I need you to check out Wayfair. Just go to the link in the description. They can turn any picture of a home or architectural structure into a handmade work of art. I've got these drawings of all the homes I've ever lived in inside my house. It makes for a great conversation piece, and just in time for Christmas, makes for a great gift. Just go to the link in the description, use coupon code Bobby13 for 10% off this great Christmas idea. All right, let's talk about Paul Krugman, because oh my gosh, he is so far out there. Now he is complaining. He's sad for Joe Biden. He is sad because poor Joe Biden looks like he's under attack. It looks like people might not think he's legitimate. And that has never happened to a president in the history of the country. Here's the story. New York Times columnist Paul Krugman has a short memory. The liberal scribe wrote Monday that no Democrats ever deemed President Trump illegitimate, in contrast to Republicans whom he said would never accept a President Joe Biden. He'll be the first modern U.S. president trying to govern in the face of an opposition that refuses to accept his legitimacy, Krugman wrote. And no, Democrats never said Donald Trump was illegitimate, just that he was incompetent and dangerous. Wow, these leftists will say anything, absolutely anything. Oh, just look this up, folks. We had the resistance. As soon as President Trump was elected, they had hashtag not my president. They were forming their resistance. They were saying he was illegitimate, even Paul Krugman. And here's more. Yet Krugman wrote in January 16, 2017, that the late Representative John Lewis, Democrat of Georgia, planned to skip Trump's inauguration because he regarded him as an illegitimate president. Lewis was not alone. Dozens of House Democrats followed his example in 2017 and did not attend the inauguration. And a 2017 poll found 68% of Democratic voters did not accept Trump as legitimately elected, citing Russian election meddling. Trump's 2016 opponent, Hillary Clinton, called him illegitimate in 2019 and claimed he had stolen the race from her, as did former President Jimmy Carter. What an idiot. And these leftists, they have no shame. They will just blatantly lie and they'll change the story as if truth is whatever they are saying now. That's truth to them. It doesn't matter if they said something completely opposite the day before, a week before, a month before. It doesn't matter. Whatever they are saying now is the truth. Everything else should be ignored. Forget the statements that they actually made. Krugman is a perfect example of this left-wing lunacy that we need to get rid of. We need to ignore. We need to follow real news sources and get these guys out of here. All right. So next, they were talking about Russian meddling in the election. There's a perfect film that talks all about this Russia hoax. It is the plot against the president. It's absolutely awesome. I watched it the other day, and I was on Newsmax yesterday talking with the director of the film, Amanda Milius. She was talking about the film. She was talking about how her Twitter account, the Twitter account for the film, was suspended. It was suspended by Twitter. We see big tech doing this over and over again. They don't like conservatives. They block it. Here's her talking about the Twitter ban.
It was suspended for about a day and a half, and they did not give us a reason why it was suspended. They basically said the reason that they gave us was so vague, it could have been any tweet could have been considered it. It said something about our account can't be used to your account can't be used to change or manipulate the traffic on Twitter or something like that. Like it really made no sense.
Of course, none of this makes any sense, but Twitter doesn't care. Facebook doesn't care. All you have to do is be a conservative and they're going to block you. They're going to ban you. They're going to throttle you. This is what they do. They say they're not publishers, but they sure are promoting content that only reflects one perspective, one point of view, one voice. That's what they do. That's what we see right here. They were not promoting anything on the Twitter account other than their film, and it gets blocked. So I was asked about this. I was asked about the film and how big tech has become part of the deep state. And here's the response. It's so powerful about the deep state and what they will do to anyone who disrupts that chain. And big tech is a part of that now. This focuses on what's going on inside government. But big tech is exerting the influence, too, on letting you know or not know what is going on. We see this all the time. This is a perfect example, and it's just another element of where we, the people, need to fight back against this kind of censorship. That's not too bad. I think that's not too bad. So, folks, we have to fight back. We are in the battle of our lives right now. And as far as President Trump, you know, people are talking about if this doesn't go through, he's going to be back in 2024. I say, forget about that. Forget about that, because if it doesn't work now, who thinks it's going to work in 2024? The Democrats will do the same thing. We have to fight this all the way through, all the way to the end. All these incidents of voter fraud, all these incidents of censorship. We have to fight back now, because the left will never back down unless we, the people, stand up and fight them. That's what we need to do. Folks, that's our show for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, and when you do, please hit that bell so you'll be notified, and we'll see you next time. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-minute news hour. Okay, friends, thanks so much for watching. And before you go, please hit that subscribe button, hit that bell so you'll be notified. And here's a special video just for you so you can watch even more of the 13-minute news hour. And don't forget to check out GOPUSA.com for the best in conservative news and commentary. We'll see you next time.